Awkward listeners, before we get into today's episode, I have some exciting news. The Awkward Insurance Podcast is headed to the Big Apple June 7th and 8th for the world's largest InsurTech community event for connecting industry executives, entrepreneurs, and investors. I'm talking about the 2023 InsurTech Insights USA Conference in New York. We can't wait to catch all the awkward takes and hottest innovations disrupting our already dynamic industry. And bonus feature, our 50th episode will be released while we're there, and we've got big things planned. Like Awkward Insurance on Facebook and make sure your podcasts are set to automatic downloads so that you don't miss our biggest giveaway yet. Toodles! Welcome back, awkward people. I'd say I'm so excited, but I'm just so dog tired. Ashley, I just came back from the Arkansas PIA conference. I cannot tell you how excited I was to be there. Holy crap, I'm talking right now and I've just gotten goosebumps just saying PIA Arkansas. That's hilarious. I was so excited to be with the people that I know, people that I called on when I was in the agency, to stand on stage. And before even talking about retention efforts as a team, which was a great thing to speak on for this crowd, I could easily say, I am one of you. I have been you. I still think I am you. I'm from Arkansas. Like, where are my Arkansas people at? Can I get a hallelujah kind of situation? It was just, I loved it. I got to see some old friends, some new friends. I got to go, Ben, where are you at, from Progressive? And he's like, I'm right here. And I'm up on stage. None of the other speakers could do that. So it just kind of set this tone for me that I was just like, I am here. I have arrived in Arkansas, even though I've been in Arkansas my whole life. I loved it. But the Arkansas PIA, they were phenomenal. Stacy Sharon and her main man, Heath Sharon, they were on site. Mary Catherine Henderson, gosh, they were so amazing the whole time. Those group of agents that attended that event, that conference, just freaking phenomenal. Some of the conversations that oh my gosh, listen to this. I ended up, I looked across, there was a Bago tournament. There was a Bago. I'm sorry. What did you say it's called
It's
up there in Ohio?
It's cornhole.
Cornhole. You know, my husband said it's cornhole too. So I guess it's just maybe a Southern thing, is a Bago tournament, and then, cornhole in the North. Who knows? Cornhole or Bago, whatever you call it, the PIA had a tournament. And when the association members would finish their part of the tournament, they would flip the board and then they would go play with Olympians from Special Olympics. And they would have their own little bracket over there doing their thing. And then when they won over there, they'd come back to the main bracket and do their thing. It was so amazing. But I looked across the way and I met the eyes of a man. And I was like, I think I know that person. So they came over, like, I don't know who you are. Can you tell me your name? He gave me his name and we're talking. I was like, I'm sorry, can you tell me your name again? So he gave me his, I'm like, you look so familiar. He's like, yeah, well, most guys with beards look the same. I'm like, no, there's something. It's a guy that I knew when I was a teenager at a movie theater called the Silver Screen in Cabot, Arkansas. And it was just, I was like, I know who you are now. This is insane. So we start talking about parametric coverage. Do you know what parametric insurance coverage is?
Insurance coverage for movies?
No, parametric insurance is it's based on a set parametric. So say we'll just use flood, for example. Say you've got a sensor on the side of your house and the flood waters rise and they touch that sensor and it sends a signal over to the insurance company, says, guess what? Flood's happening. And they immediately issue whatever set coverage limit you've purchased. There's no need for an adjuster. There's no need to call the company and file the claim. The sensors communicate with them that this specific metric has been met and it's time to issue a claim payment. And if you've got it set up on EFT, I guess they could just drop that crap right into your bank account. So we start talking about parametric coverage because a lot of people don't know what parametric coverage is. He's like, I'm just having a great time because I don't have to explain parametric coverage. It was just, oh my God, it was just, my heart is so full. I am so exhausted. I loved being at an association conference here in Arkansas. It was phenomenal. It was great. And I had so much fun. And I can only imagine, I've been to one of you guys' events and I don't know if it was a true like gathering of association type event, but I've been to one of the OIA's conference events and I could feel the vibe there too. So it was so fun. But let's go ahead and introduce our guest. I'm going to let Ashley do it because I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Seth Marinara.
Yes, exactly.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
So I would just like to point out that we are roughly 7 minutes into this, and exactly what I was afraid of happening was going to happen happened. Is that we just hit 17 different points like we always do, but I didn't realize that there was a bigger insurance nerd, not bigger, that there was somebody more nerdy out there besides both you and I, and he's definitely one of them, because he literally will come back to my office and give me hypothetical situations and ask about the claims coverage and what my thoughts are, which I'm honored that he thinks that I'm that good at insurance, but I don't know ISO stuff. So I feel like you guys are just perfect for each other when it comes to ISO stuff, because you have it memorized, Dustin.
So, Mr. Spaghetti Sauce,
Yeah.
are you familiar with ISO coverage, or is that something that you're learning now that you've joined OIA?
So I am incredibly grateful to have had the honor to participate in both the CIC and the CRM through the National Alliance, and am very familiar with ISO coverage.
Awesome. So you have your CIC and your CRM, or you've just
I have both.
awesome. Well, Seth, welcome so much to Awkward Insurance. I am so happy to meet you. How long have you been with OIA?
6 months, actually. Super fresh.
What did you do before OIA? Give us a little sneaky peeky into Mr. Marinara,
Yeah. So
including correcting your last name.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, for the record, my last name is Marana, although I have been called Marinara for the better part of my life. Prior to joining OIA, I actually served as an independent agent myself here in the state of Ohio for about 6 years, both on personal lines and then commercial lines as well.
So then, I thought you were going to keep going. You have like more of a life story than that.
Well,
He also this is where I feel like you guys would get along very well, is that he was in charge of like training the personal lines department. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I right or wrong?
yeah, oversaw some of our personal line teams meetings, was intimately involved with some of our marketing efforts, got really big into video marketing, did some fun stuff, including walking through a car wash. Don't advise that, super cold water. But yeah, just really trying to bring a fresh perspective to marketing insurance, which unfortunately consumers see as kind of dull, but I see it as super exciting, a lot of fun, and trying to show the humanity side of our awesome industry here in Ohio.
Wait, was the car wash that you walked through a touchless one, or did it have like the
No.
spinny things?
It had the spinny wheels of cloth or whatever those are made out of. Yeah.
That
It
does-
is, I always thought it was warm water. It is freezing cold ice water.
Why would it be warm water?
I don't know. I assumed incorrectly. So that's on me.
So what are you doing at OIA now? What is your role? What is your position?
Yeah, so I am our member experience manager, which encompasses a couple different things, but I like to say my role is to understand the needs of our members, grow the membership, but being able to help coach and mentor them, both from my previous experience, but also being able to funnel resources to them through the rest of our team here. Individuals like Ashley Fitzsimmons, Ashley Riley, and everybody else here that do just a great job at supporting the IA members here.
All right. So the National Alliance, we do a lot with association partners. Each state, it may be either the Big I or the PIA, depending on, which state is driving that factor. We just had a podcast with the national presidents of both the Big I and the PIA president, which was phenomenal. It's on our Nat Alliance Now podcast. So go check that one out. But I think as I was hearing you talk, being an agent that was in the industry and sitting at my desk, and I know about the National Alliance education, and I know about Big I here in Arkansas, I ran out of time all the time. Like I did not have time to sit around and hang out on a website trying to figure out what benefits I could get. I needed quick information and I needed it fast. So now that you're part of the member participant experience, like what are you doing to make sure your agents know just what's out there with as little cost time to them, as much ease as possible? What's the most efficient way, basically, that agents can find just what the benefits are as quick as possible?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. And I've continued to say that, over the course of the last 5 to 10 years, 15 years, even, the speed of which we do business has magnified. There's a company out there that I can go on and buy pretty much anything by the click of a button, and it's at my house in less than like 45 minutes in some cases, right? Like, and that's the consumer expectation that Amazon Time has manifested this new way of doing business. And as an agent, I tried to help encourage that through the rest of our agency by, delivering expedient, easy to use services and conversations with the clients that we were working with. And so, with that same approach and same mindfulness, I'm trying to bring that here by communicating the values and the resources and the services in snippet information, right? So, Ashley, myself, and some others on our member experience team are crafting documents that communicate whether it's professional development, whether it's risk management, resources through Big I, all of these different items that can be tapped into with just like a quick glance. It's like, oh, I'm not using this. I should call Seth. Oh, I'm not using this. I should call Ashley. Because if it takes more than about 7.5 seconds, they've moved on because they've got the needs of their clients that are unfortunately, well, not unfortunately for them, they're pressing and they're more important than the document that they're going to try to wade through paragraph and paragraph after.
Is the 7.5 seconds a studied, like that's the draw?
I've
That's
heard
the
that.
line in the sand.
I'm not gonna like go out on quote on that, but I've heard that number thrown out time and time again, both on paper documents and that you've got, I think, even a quicker time to catch somebody on your website as well. And it's why nobody ever goes to Google page two, right? Like you're gonna quickly try to find it. If you can't find it, you're just gonna refine your search to something different.
Now, wait a second. I have made a more conscious behavioral effort to go to Google page two.
Why?
Google page,
Yeah.
because I'm trying to change my behavioral habits for the better. They deserve some love too.
You must just not be searching for the right thing then if you're not finding it on the first page.
Okay, but hear me out.
It's true.
Sometimes, especially in academia, the more scholarly sources are not on the front page.
Pretty
They're
sure
behind.
well, that's not smart.
Yeah, I think that's
Sorry, we're not academic enough to be going to the second Google page.
I'm just saying, if you're looking for something more than a marketing resource, you often have to go to the second. I think I might have visited the third page a time or two.
that is uncharted water for me ever. But I think the important thing to keep in mind is that, through we coach consumers both as agents and as teammates here. Like we coach the consumers and the people that do business with us through the patterns of behavior that we exhibit. And so we, like Amazon has done, they've taught their users that they can quickly buy something by pressing the buy now button. We've taught insurance consumers how to buy by going to directly to websites or by calling or by texting, right? So my hope is that I can help coach our members on how to do business with us. My other hope then is that we here can deliver an easy way of doing business with us, because if we make it difficult, they're going to move on. They're going to go to another resource, and depending on the experience that they continue to have, they may or may not leave, which is not good, because I think that we have a lot of quality resources and a lot of quality teammates with great perspective to help aid and assist our members, but we just have to make it as easy as possible in communicating the value and those items that we have for them.
Right. I know for a long time, I mean, I've not always been with the National Alliance. This is only just the last 3 years. I was agency side, and I think one of the things that I've said, and I know this is going to be no surprise to anybody that works with me here at the National Alliance, I didn't really even understand that the National Alliance existed before I came to the National Alliance, because it's kind of, and I use this analogy, it's kind of like going to college and you take your course. I'm going to throw a name out there at UCA here in Arkansas, University of Central Arkansas. I take a course there. They use a textbook, but I don't say, oh, I got my education from McGraw Hill, which is most like, textbook publisher from, college or whatever. I didn't get my education from McGraw Hill. I got it from UCA, right? So I always saw like I got my education through an association. Big I here in Arkansas is where I did my entire CISR, my entire CIC. Webinar wasn't really a thing. So I did my CISR and CIC through the Big I here in Arkansas, which is great networking. It's where I honestly got my drive to be like, ooh, I want to be like that person. I need to learn from that person. So I got to meet those people and kind of aspire to what I was going to be. But I didn't know. And I can honestly say, in my mind's eye, where I picture doing my education, like I can't even see the National Alliance's logo on my notebook at that time. Of course, I can now because, whatever, but that's a hard thing to get beyond, is knowing what else is out there. So I would, like, in order to update my CIC, I would redo a CIC. And I did not have the time to go onto the National Alliance website or even the Big I website, to be honest with you, to go, what else is there for me? What else can I find? And that's one of the biggest things that I say now is just go to the website. We've got such a phenomenal website to find what we have right there at the top. But then, of course, the search bar at the top. It's at the top of every web page you have ever been to. There is always a search bar with a little magnifying glass. Just type something in there that you're looking for, and hopefully it shows up on the first website Google page, if you will. Not necessarily Google page, but the first page to find what you want and just kind of dive in. So I want to ask you real quick, though, 5-second or maybe 10-second, putting you on the spot here, 5 to 10-second elevator pitch when somebody says, what benefits do I have at OIA? Ready? Take a breath.
Take a breath.
Get excited. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
We make doing business as an agency way easier because you don't have to redo stuff. Call us before you go to Google.
Wait, you could have ended with way easier. That was perfect.
That's so funny. I absolutely love that. Thanks so much for doing that.
You're welcome.
What's your favorite benefit at OIA?
Wow, that's a really good question. I can say that as a agent, I focused a lot on professional development. Ashley is a great resource here, and she's got a fun personality. But it really depends on the agency and the agent. Like for me, I really value educating and expanding my knowledge, and so by doing that, I get to help agents and agency leaders. But I've kind of said to the people that I've already spoken with, like, I'm here to understand your needs so that I can backfill your needed resource. What you need is different than what the agency down the road needs.
I like that answer. And my favorite resource at OIA is Ashley Fitzsimmons. I forget the website.
Close second.
No, you know what? As you were talking, though, when you were talking about your resources, I do a lot of paying attention to the first thing that pops into my head. And the first thing that popped into my head is insurance is a relationship business. Like, we talk to people. We don't talk to computers. We talk to people. So I guess maybe a great resource, whether OIA, any other association, or even here at the National Alliance, get one of us on the phone. Give us a call. Because once we get talking, we start nerding out over insurance. We start talking to you about the benefits that slip in here or there. You start to really learn about what we have here to offer you at the National Alliance, at the OIA level, at the Big I, not just OIA, but Big I itself, what national resources you've got there. Same thing for PIA that's different at the state level than it is at the national level. So many different resources and benefits out there that agents have access to. Not just agents, CSRs, account managers, you've got access to the same thing if your agency is partnering with these. And if not, then call the association and ask how to be involved. I know there's dues and stuff, but I have this sneaky suspicion that even with dues, you guys love having members so much that you work with people on things like that.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, that's all we want people to do is to call us, because you don't know what you don't know. We might have a resource that's going to work for you guys, but you don't even know that it's available, or you don't even know that what you need is out there because you don't know you need it yet. So, and when you were saying you didn't even know what the National Alliance was, I didn't even know what the state association did when I started in the industry. I just thought it was where I went to get my pre-licensing, because I'd go out there, I'd go to the 3-day cram session or whatever and go home and take the exam. And then I started getting involved with them and met other young agents and started getting involved in their board and then started speaking at other places. So, I mean, there's really so much opportunity, but sometimes it doesn't even get down to, the CSRs or the other people in the agency, because it stops at the agency owner. And then not intentionally, it's just it sits on their desk and they put it to the side. So I think that is something huge that for people listening, that know nothing about their state association, you better go out and call them or call us, and I'll direct you to them.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, again, paying attention to the first thing that pops into my head is we're never going to have enough time. And it's one thing that happens when people are doing family planning. They're like, oh, we'll have a kid in the next 5 years. If you're going to have a kid because you are never going to find the right time. There is never going to be a perfect moment. And it's the same thing within the agency. If you are looking for help, if you are looking for a benefit, if you're looking for education, if you know you need it, but you're just waiting for the right time, you will never have the right time. Just do whatever it is you're looking for and try and reach out. All right, I got a fun question, Seth.
Okay.
Do you bite string cheese or do you pull it? Oh God, he is laughing hysterically. What is this?
Thank you so much for asking that question. Listen, when it
Hey, me? Hey.
the person that knows who that's directed at. Yeah, so I will confidently claim the fact that I bite string cheese first, and then
What?
I will peel it. Maybe
You bite it and then you peel it?
maybe a peel. It depends on my mood and what I got going on.
He's trying to be efficient by not peeling.
Way more efficient. And I realized that as somebody that touts experience over like most other things, especially on LinkedIn, I'm not enjoying the full experience of the string cheese, but it's just better to bite it.
Hey, do you have a partner? Are you connected?
Do
you have a partner?
Yes, I'm married, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. Did you lead with that? Did you let that person know that first, that you bite string cheese instead of pull it? Because, oh God, that's a deal breaker.
Listen, you don't lead with aces like that.
I wouldn't have let him. If I had known that, he would not have gotten hired here.
Listen, that's an ace. You just hold on to that knowledge until the right moment, and then you're just like,
Oh.
I bite string.
Okay, yeah. So I've had to learn to deal with that. My son is a string cheese biter instead of a string cheese puller, and it just like I will throw that cheese in the trash and hand him a new one until he does it right.
I've got a mic in front of me. I just want to be an encouragement to all the other string cheese biters. Don't hide that. Be proud of biting the string cheese. There is nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, I don't know. Which one's riskier? Do you think swallowing a chunk of string cheese would be riskier for a choking risk, or the string part would be a risk?
I don't know if I ever thought that would have been a question ever in existence, but I think the string is way riskier. Like, could get like caught up in there or something.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. This has been a fun conversation. I'm going to give some credit to Regan Brandt, who is at the PIA Arkansas conference. She had a phenomenal idea. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there. Do you know what a walk-up song in baseball is?
Oh, yeah.
So I want to steal this because something really funny happened over the weekend. I will not use this as a regular podcast thing. But I am going to steal it from Regan for a second. What would be your walk-on song?
So I'm walking up, 9th inning, World Series, and I'm about to hit the home run. What's my go-to anthem? Man, that's a great question. I could go like old school, like Eye of the Tiger, like Rocky theme, something like that, a little more traditional.
That came up so much. Like, is that the first thing that people come up with is Eye of the Tiger?
It's pretty, I don't know.
No, mine would just be inappropriate.
You know what I said? So there was a twofold question. The first one was, what would your walk-on song be? And I was like, well, I can't say the whole title, but it'd be like, move, get out the way.
Way to go.
So
Luda is
like
always good.
But Luda is great, right?
Oh my.
So then somebody else asked, well, did your song change from when you started in the industry to where you are now? And I was like, that's a good question. Can I answer that later? I was like, yeah, okay. My starting song would have had to be like we gonna have to do. Is it called the Funky Chicken? Is that what that's called? That's a different song. Chicken Dance. The Chicken Dance song would I just like here's your desk. I had people doing the chicken dance out in the audience. They were doing it. Oh, it was great. It was awesome. What would your walk-on song be when you first started? How long have you been in the industry, by the way?
I've been in the industry 6 years. 6 years, just over 6 years.
So has your song changed from when you started knew nothing to knowing something now?
Man, again, another like good question. I don't know that it would. I'm a pretty traditional guy. There's probably some like old school rap songs that like got me all jacked up on Mountain Dew when I was in high school wrestling or something like that. But I think I'd stick with just traditional Rocky. It's classic.
That's great. Hey, Seth, congratulations on your position at OIA. I am sure you are having a blast if you're working with Ashley Fitz and everybody there. I got to meet a little bit of her team when I was in Ohio a little bit last year. They're a phenomenal group. So happy for you. Is there anything else, any soapbox or anything that you'd like to stand on top of before we end?
Yeah, I would just say, like, in regards to member experience, and like I said just a few minutes ago, like, it's something that I really believe in. And, whenever agents come to a renewal process, a client decides, like, how has the last 12 months been? And depending on that answer, they decide to move forward. And so, their renewal is an affirmation of the relationship that they've had over those last 12 months. So we just need to be really mindful of the experience that we're delivering, finding fun, unique ways to create relationship, create personal interaction. Like what we sell is a piece of paper with some contract language on it, but really people buy from people that they trust, that they like, that they sometimes have fun with. They go out and have good quality relationships. And that's what this business is about. It's why I joined the team here, because it gives me a unique opportunity to help coach and equip and mentor others to serve their clients really, really well. And so just again, the encouragement that I have is just ask yourself, how can we deliver quality and meaningful experiences for the people that have trusted their homes, their autos, their lives, their businesses? Like, how can we deliver personal relationships? And that's what I'm all about. And that's what this team is about, and serving in quality ways. And we're constantly questioning the ways that we can serve our members. And like we've said, if you have a question, reach out. We're trying to make it as easy as possible to help serve you guys.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being on Awkward Insurance. Ashley, great to see you again. You're lovely as always. Toodles, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for hanging out and listening to another Awkward Insurance conversation.
If you haven't already, be sure to join the Awkward Insurance Facebook community. We have an amazing group of people on there.
And for more episodes, head over to the National Alliance website at scic.com. Now go forth and be awkward. Toodles!
That's awkward.